Have you ever wondered why the ground beneath your feet isn't as stable as you thought? It's a question that may have crossed your mind, especially if you've ever experienced an earthquake. These natural phenomena, as fascinating as they are terrifying, remind us of the raw, untamed power of our planet. Earthquakes can vary greatly in their severity, from minor tremors you might barely notice, to cataclysmic events that leave cities in ruins. They've shaped our world and our societies in ways you might not even realize. The aftermath of these seismic events often leaves behind a trail of destruction and a profound impact on the lives of those affected. In this video, we will traverse through time and across continents, exploring the 10 most powerful earthquakes ever to shake our world. From the busy streets of modern cities to the quiet corners of ancient civilizations, these earthquakes have left an indelible mark on the course of human history. So, let's dive into the earth-shattering world of the 10 biggest earthquakes in recorded history. First on our list is the Valdivia earthquake in 1960. The Valdivia earthquake, also known as the Great Chilean Earthquake, is considered the most powerful earthquake ever recorded in human history. It struck the heart of Chile on May 22, 1960, with a staggering magnitude of 9.5 on the Richter scale. The natural disaster didn't just shake the ground, it sent shockwaves through the lives of millions. The epicenter was near Lumaco, approximately 570 kilometers south of Santiago. The quake lasted for a terrifying 10 minutes, causing widespread destruction and triggering a series of tsunamis that reached as far as Hawaii, Japan, and the Philippines. But the devastation didn't stop there. The earthquake also triggered a series of landslides and volcanic eruptions, adding to the catastrophe. In all, an estimated 2,000 people lost their lives, with thousands more injured and displaced. The aftermath was a scene of utter destruction, with cities reduced to rubble and infrastructure, including roads and bridges, severely damaged. The recovery efforts were immense. It involved not just rebuilding, but also implementing new strategies to withstand future earthquakes. The world watched as Chile rose from the ruins, a testament to the resilience and strength of its people. The Valdivia earthquake truly shook the world, but it's not the only one. Moving on, we explore more seismic events. Next, we journey to the icy lands of Alaska in 1964. It was a year when the landscape of the last frontier was drastically altered by the second most powerful earthquake in recorded history, the Great Alaskan Earthquake, also known as the Good Friday earthquake, shook the region with an astonishing magnitude of 9.2 on the Richter scale. The epicenter was near Prince William Sound, but the tremors were so strong they were felt over a staggering 500,000 square miles. The earthquake triggered massive landslides and tsunamis, causing extensive damage to coastal towns. The port city of Valdez was completely destroyed, and the capital city, Anchorage, suffered major infrastructural damage. The aftermath was devastating. The quake and subsequent tsunamis claimed the lives of over 130 people and caused hundreds of millions of dollars in damage. Despite these devastating losses, the event led to significant advancements in the field of earthquake science. The Great Alaskan Earthquake left an indelible mark on history, but it's not the end of our journey. Fast forward to the year 2004, and we find ourselves in the Indian Ocean. The day after Christmas, an undersea megathrust earthquake, known as the Indian Ocean earthquake, sent shockwaves around the globe. With a magnitude of 9.1 to 9.3, it's considered one of the strongest quakes ever recorded on a seismograph. The epicenter was off the west coast of northern Sumatra, Indonesia. The quake was felt as far away as Bangladesh, India, Malaysia, Myanmar, Thailand, Maldives, and Sri Lanka. But it wasn't just the earthquake that caused destruction. The seismic activity triggered a series of devastating tsunamis along the coasts of 14 countries. These massive waves reached heights up to 100 feet, sweeping away everything in their path. Entire towns were obliterated, and hundreds of thousands of lives were sadly lost. The Indian Ocean earthquake was a devastating disaster, and yet there are more to discuss. The year 2011 brought us one of the most catastrophic earthquakes in Japan. The Tohoku earthquake, also known as the Great East Japan Earthquake, struck off the Pacific coast of Japan on March 11th. It was a staggering magnitude 9, making it the most potent quake ever to hit Japan, and one of the 5 strongest earthquakes in the world since modern record-keeping began in the early 20th century. The quake's epicenter was located approximately 70 kilometers east of the Oshika Peninsula of Tohoku, and the hypocenter was at an underwater depth of approximately 30 kilometers. The quake triggered powerful tsunami waves that reached heights of up to 40 meters and caused widespread devastation along the coast. But the disaster didn't end there. The tsunami caused a series of nuclear accidents, most notably at the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant, leading to a nuclear disaster on a scale not seen since Chernobyl. The Tohoku earthquake was devastating, but our exploration of the world's biggest earthquakes continues. Now, let's delve into the remaining 6 biggest earthquakes. In our journey through the annals of seismic history, we've touched on some of the most devastating earthquakes. But our journey is far from over. Let's continue with the 6th biggest earthquake on record, which took place in Kamchatka, Russia, in the year 1952. With a magnitude of 9.0, this earthquake generated tsunamis that reached as far as Hawaii, causing widespread damage and loss of life. This event is a stark reminder of the far-reaching impacts of seismic events. Moving on to the 7th largest, we find ourselves in the year 1868 in Arica, Peru, which is now part of Chile. This earthquake, also known as the Arica earthquake, registered a magnitude of 9.0. It resulted in the complete destruction of the city of Arica and caused tsunamis that reached as far as Hawaii, Japan, and Australia. The Arica earthquake serves as a profound testament to the destructive potential of seismic activity. Our 8th stop takes us back to the northern Pacific, to the Aleutian Islands in Alaska in the year 1957. The Andreanof Islands earthquake reached a magnitude of 8.8, causing significant damage in the islands and generating a tsunami that reached as far as Hawaii and Japan. The far-reaching effects of this earthquake underscore the interconnectedness of our world. The 9th largest earthquake on record brings us to the southern tip of South America in Chile in the year 1762. Known as the Valparaiso earthquake, it had a magnitude of 8.8. The earthquake and the subsequent tsunami resulted in the deaths of several thousands of people and left the city of Valparaiso in ruins. The Valparaiso earthquake is a stark reminder of the vulnerability of human settlements in the face of nature's fury. Our penultimate stop is the Assam-Tibet earthquake, which struck in the year 1950. With a magnitude of 8.6, it is considered one of the largest intraplate earthquakes ever recorded. This earthquake caused extensive damage in both Assam in India and Tibet in China, illustrating the indiscriminate nature of seismic events. Finally, we arrive at the 10th largest earthquake, which occurred in the year 2005 off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia. The Nias Semulue earthquake, with a magnitude of 8.6, caused widespread damage and loss of life on the island of Nias and other parts of Sumatra. This earthquake is yet another example of the destructive power that lies beneath the Earth's crust. These 6 earthquakes further illustrate the immense power nature holds. You might be wondering, why does the Earth shake? What causes these earthquakes? Well, let's delve into the science behind these powerful natural phenomena. Earthquakes happen because our planet's outer shell, the Earth's crust, is divided into a mosaic of immense slabs called tectonic plates, which fit together like a jigsaw puzzle. These plates are in constant motion, albeit at a glacial pace, moving just a few centimeters per year. But even this slow movement can cause dramatic effects. When these plates collide, pull apart, or slide past one another, the stress along the edges can build up over time. Eventually, this stress becomes too much for the rocks to bear, causing them to break or slip along a fault line. This sudden release of energy causes the seismic waves that make the ground shake, leading to what we experience as an earthquake. The place where the slip happens is known as the focus or hypocenter of the earthquake. The epicenter, on the other hand, is the point on the Earth's surface directly above the hypocenter. Now, how do we measure these earthquakes? That's where the Richter scale comes in. Developed in the early 20th century by Charles F. Richter, this logarithmic scale quantifies the energy released by an earthquake. Each whole number increase on the scale represents a 10-fold increase in measured seismic waves and roughly 32 times more energy release. For instance, a magnitude 5 quake releases 32 times more energy than a magnitude 4 quake. It's important to note, however, that not all earthquakes are destructive. Many of them are too minor to be felt by humans. But understanding the science behind earthquakes and their measurement is crucial. It allows us to predict potential seismic hotspots, design buildings to withstand tremors, and develop effective disaster response strategies. Understanding earthquakes helps us prepare for and respond to them more effectively. So the next time the ground shakes, remember, it's just the Earth reminding us of its dynamic, ever-changing nature. So, we've journeyed through time, exploring the 10 biggest earthquakes in recorded history. From the staggering power of the Valdivia earthquake in 1960 to the profound devastation of the Great Alaskan Earthquake in 1964, we've seen the Earth's tectonic plates in their most dramatic and destructive performances. We revisited the haunting memory of the Indian Ocean earthquake in 2004 and the heart-wrenching Tohoku earthquake in 2011. These seismic events, along with the other 6 we've covered, serve as stark reminders of the formidable force that lies beneath our feet. But as we've also learned, understanding earthquakes is not just about knowing the past. It's about looking into the future, recognizing the signs, and preparing for when the ground beneath us starts to shake again. After all, the Earth's crust is a living, breathing entity, constantly changing and moving in ways that can, and will, affect us all. We've also discovered that knowledge is our most powerful tool. By studying seismic activity, we can better predict when and where these colossal events might occur. And with that knowledge, we can all be better prepared, making our homes, cities, and nations more resilient against the inevitable tremors of the Earth. Remember, knowledge is power. The more we understand about earthquakes, the better we can protect ourselves and our communities.